It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. On a Thursday, you know what that means. We cram 3 hours of show into a 2-hour wet paper bag. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice, Hayes, and CB. Fellas, how we feeling?
I feel amazing because I have breaking news. I have breaking news because my sources at the North Pole have told me that when the clock strikes midnight tonight, Santa and the elves had reported for training camp because Christmas starts tonight, AR, when Halloween is
so ridiculous
over.
and makes zero sense.
Here we go, baby. No. Santa and the elves are reported for training camp at midnight tonight. Come on, baby.
Really? What are they doing? You putting them through some stretches?
They're getting ready,
Is
man.
it a walk
They're
through?
running 40s, doing vertical jumps, doing all type of things. They got to get loose, man, to deliver the gifts because here's where we're at. Everybody loves Thanksgiving. I get it. I'm in with everybody on that. But Thanksgiving itself is really like a 30-minute window of time. That's a good thing. You break bread, you enjoy a good meal, and then Thanksgiving is really over. The build up to Christmas starts
30
now.
minutes.
Yeah, the cooking. My mom always says you cook all night, you cook all morning, and then everybody
Skipped
eats
over the biggest part,
and it's over.
the shopping.
There is for Thanksgiving. No,
You've never heard of Black Friday?
I have, but nobody, to me, the food is the primary thing for Thanksgiving, not going out and getting ran over by people to get a flat screen.
Hey, it's kill or be killed out there, man.
I'm just saying.
The World Series, the Super Bowl, those guys know what pressure is.
In my world, Christmas starts tonight at midnight.
In here, you're up 500,000 soybeans. The next minute, they've repossessed your Bentley and your kids don't go to college. You got to face that kind of pressure. That's Black Friday. And then the football.
You're saying this. I know you're not going out to Target for Black Friday.
Target?
Yeah, the deal.
Jacques Panay?
There's no way.
No?
I know you. You ain't dealing with that.
Nobody got time for that.
Delivered to the front door, baby.
Well, hang on a minute. Let me see what games are quickly for Thanksgiving weekend on the Sunday of Thanksgiving.
We know the Lions.
I mean, the Thursday. I'm sorry.
Lions will be partaking, right? Cowboys.
They always do.
They're in the mix.
Yes,
They're
they're definitely in the mix. They've been in the mix for a long time.
Oh, man.
I can't find the Thanksgiving games.
What's CB doing over there? Can he look it up for us?
CB, do you know who's playing on Thanksgiving this year? It's got to be 3 games, right?
I believe the Cowboys are playing the Giants.
Cowboys are definitely
They're
playing.
in the mix.
And the Lions are definitely playing.
We have to find
We
this
got
now.
that far. All right, so the
we're
fact,
off to
if
a
you want to
great
listen,
start.
you want to skip over everything, who am I to stop you? It gets you in a good mood. That's great.
I'm just saying,
I'm excited for you.
Some of the Christmas movies are starting to pop up on TV. I'm here for it. Thanksgiving Day, here's what I have for you. 12:30, it'll be Bears at Lions. And then at 4:30, you'll get to watch Daniel Jones play the Cowboys at 4:30. And the nightcap is Miami at Green Bay.
Could be good. Miami may really need it. Green Bay might need it.
I'll be napping at 4:30.
The point is, it's not just 30 minutes.
It is. It's a 30-minute window of time. Like, Thanksgiving is about the food and the fellowship. Okay, football,
So
I get it, but football isn't for everybody. But once you
You're not including the Ohio State-Michigan game in that at all. It's just that Thursday and then goodbye?
Yeah, the day of. So, yeah. When the clock hits 12:01 tonight, it's ho-ho-ho season.
Yeah, well, I know what is over, and that's baseball.
Well,
and that's over from last night.
You know what ain't over, though? Us handing out tickets today, because we got another pair of tickets to see AEW Collision live at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. Tickets on sale now via Ticketmaster. So stick with us. If you're a wrestling fan like me, we got you covered.
Cool. NFL picks against the spread, bottom of the hour, 133. You'll hear from the Buckeyes as they get ready to go to Happy Valley this weekend. We'll have Ian Fitzsimmons. We didn't have him Monday. It's even better. We push him to today so we can talk about that game in Happy Valley with him at 2:03, the ESPN sideline reporter. And we have a gold jacket Thursday on tap here. So Pro Football Hall of Famer tight end Kellen Winslow, probably arguably for me, the best that's ever done it at the position. The former San Diego Charger will jump on at 2:33, doing his residency up in Canton this weekend. And so that's going to be an epic, just like the epic in Miami back in '82 where he left body parts on that field and single-handedly played probably the greatest individual game I've ever seen in the history of my life. So Kellen Winslow will be on at 2:33. Quick moment on the baseball game from last night. In a blink of an eye, when the Yankees were tweeting out that Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm Jr. had hit the first back-to-back World Series home run since Thurman Munson and Reggie Jackson in 1977. Aaron Judge obviously goes deep, slump over, the bats have awakened, here we go, the Yanks are back, they'll bring it back to L.A., force a Game 6, put all the pressure on L.A., and then Aaron Judge coming in on an easy bloop to short center, botches a fly ball that would have been the first out of the fifth. First of all, what do you care about the runner at first? He can't tag on that anyway. You're coming, it's short center. You could probably run in and tag him out if he tried to tag. Number two, then, bases loaded, Betts with a slow grounder to first. I don't really know who I want to blame the most on this, so I'll do a fitty lemon lime on Garrett Cole and Rizzo, who, by the way, has all he can do to even get over and ground that thing instead of Bucknering that thing. I would say this. Rizzo not charging a weak grounder with bases loaded and nobody out is the first crime. He has trouble even getting over to get it. Once he does, and I'm sure Cole thinks that Rizzo now can't turn two, take the out, that he'll be smart enough to race to first so he doesn't cover. So I'm giving him 50% of that blame. So both guys get it. And that leads to one of the worst defensive innings in a World Series we've ever seen. They tie it with 5 with 2 outs, right? They scored 5 with 2 outs, I believe. And there you go. They wound up taking the lead in the 8th. And New York, the city that can now go to sleep.
The Dodgers were the one team, or one of the rare teams that we see in sports, come into the season as the favorite to win it all and go on to win it all. But throughout that, there was some adversity, and what's scary about the whole scenario is one of their biggest strengths they didn't even have to use, and that's Shohei Ohtani potentially being the ace of their pitching staff. I mean, just think about that. They won it all without using one of their best weapons. And so I was thinking about this last night. You look at where Kansas City is at. They went back-to-back winning Super Bowls. There's a chance that in the NFL, Kansas City's already checked that box. The Boston Celtics have a real chance to go back-to-back. And then you flip the page to next year, and the LA Dodgers may do the same thing, because that unit that we saw win the trophy last night, they ain't going anywhere. And you wake up this morning and you hear reports from John Heymans and these senior MLB insiders that, the Dodgers are going in to get Juan Soto too. They're ready to throw a bag at Juan Soto.
They can do it.
They can do it, but I'm just saying they can get even scarier. So credit to the Dodgers. Credit to Dave Roberts. They've won, 2 World Series here in the last 4 years, in 2020 and again in 2024, and they're going to be the favorite, or one of the favorites, going into next year. It was an impressive showing for them. They got beat up by starting pitching all year long and still found a freaking way to win the World Series. It's wild.
Shohei had a lot to do with it too early, with the double off the wall and all that early in the series. But, I thought the Yankees had that thing swinging the other way, big time at 5-0 at that point in the 5th. You have to, not that you're booking it completely, but you're not booking 5 runs. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And here we are with the Dodgers winning. And by the way, I put most of it on Garrett Cole for not covering the bag. But maybe I just have a spot in my mind on how bad Rizzo is defensively at first base, and just
Cole was sleepy on that play.
He's sleepy.
He was sleepy on that
because play. Rizzo thinks I can maybe turn 2, but he's not good enough to do that. So, it was awful all the way around.
You had to love that too, because I know you can't stand New York fans, and so for them to watch their team crumble, because they were at that all-time high. Because Judge is back. Here we go. We're putting points up on the board, and then it all comes crumbling down right in your face. And you got surrender cobras all over Yankee Stadium. I know you were loving that.
Part of me as a sports fan, though, would have liked to have seen what the Dodgers would have done in Game 6 and know how important that game would have been for them. Part of me, because I was definitely leaning Dodgers to want to win the series. And then I think, and I have to look this up, Game 6, Maddie, would have been Friday night.
Oh, Friday night freaky session.
I think it would have been Friday. I think it would have been Friday night.
Yeah.
And Friday night, which is my brother's birthday, but let me not bury the lead. It would have been Fernando Valenzuela's birthday. So they would have been playing game 6 with him watching down over them. And I think that there would have been a legendary narrative over that game with the pressure on, with the Yankees feeling like, left for dead. So part of me wanted to see that.
What's our guy Brian do tomorrow for his birthday? He popping bottles?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Hopefully a nice dinner or something.
Yeah, they'll always.
Did you send him something in the mail? Did you Venmo him some cash?
I don't want to tell you what I got him.
Okay. Can you tell me off the air?
Yeah, it's kind of a nostalgic thing that I found on eBay.
Okay.
That I'm going to send him. So I can't really say.
Okay.
It's just something from our childhood. All right. I buried the lead also, but the World Series, we wanted to touch on that for a second. And Elvis was unbelievable last night. I know this wasn't a Bally's game, it was an ESPN Plus game. And CB, I got to try to find this soundbite. I heard it earlier, and I was dying to get this to you, and I failed in that regard about him now just trying to just be in his own mind, just in a good way, and how he doesn't give a you-know-what anymore about he's just playing quieter, more confident, and it's just not like crazy Elvis anymore, where he's like riding the highs and lows.
Like a blank them picks type of vibe?
A little bit. Yeah. If I can find it, I'll send it to you along the way. But it was a prideful moment because I felt like, the two things. I know we'll do Bet365 as we usually do at 220, but I was pretty high in the CBJ yesterday at +1, getting plus money on them against the team coming in on back-to-back. The other thing, and a team that I didn't think was going to hang with them offensively, although they can't hang with them defensively. The Nerfy is over. The Nerfy went 2 and 3. Yep. So that lost. But this streak I'm on with both teams not to score in the first 10 minutes, I'm still riding that pretty good. But Elvis he was
awesome, man.
And this team, and Sivo scores on a Hockey and Hounds day yesterday. I think we get the apple on that one.
Take some credit for that?
You have to get an assist. Okay. You're on the score sheet.
We'll get an assist. Hockey and Hounds definitely got an assist for that. But 2 games now back-to-back here for Elvis where he's played very, very well. We talked about the game against Edmonton where he almost had that shutout, and they scored late in that game to put something up on the board. But Elvis now, I think, has gained some confidence. We talked about it yesterday on Hockey and Hounds, that Coach Dean has seen a difference in him. Some of his teammates have seen a difference in him, and now you can just feel his presence out there in net, and that's just such a huge deal, right? Is that when your goaltender can infuse confidence into your team to know, I got your back, and that's what Elvis has done over the last 2 games against the Islanders and Edmonton. It's fun to watch.
The structure's been great, and I remember asking Dean and Don at training camp, and I wanted to say it in the most polite way of, how do you hide your goaltender? You can't hide him. You can do your best around him, but there was times where you felt like you had to hide him a little bit. All right, we'll track that down, and then we'll come back. We will talk Browns, but I do want you guys to hear James Franklin selling this game and specifically when it's being played. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small, loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community, except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station, except Bo. The Fan.
Skyline is serving up special Halloween ways made with orange noodles this Wednesday and Thursday only. Stop in for Skyline Halloween ways or pick them up and take them home. October 30th and 31st only at participating Skyline restaurants while supplies last.
Breaking gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
You know, Ohio's Supreme Court makes headlines for the wrong reasons. They even ruled it's okay for boneless chicken wings to have bones that can choke kids.
But we can stop their extreme one-party politics by voting for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes for Ohio's Supreme Court.
Right. Ohio's newspapers say Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes are the clear choice.
We need an experienced, independent court we can trust, and Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes will judge the Reproductive Freedom Amendment fairly and honestly, protecting our rights, safety, and families.
Ohioans deserve independent justice, transparency, and equal treatment under the law. That's why we really need Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes to provide checks and balances.
Don't stop fighting for your rights, freedoms, and choices. But do remember to vote for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes.
Paid for by Donnelly for Supreme Court, Stewart for Ohio Supreme Court, and Forbes for Justice.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Time now to check in on your weather impact forecast for today. We are tracking a strong cold front moving into the region. We will be looking at some scattered showers late this evening. That could impact any trick-or-treating plans. Things dry up after 10 o'clock. Tonight we get down to around 45 degrees. Tomorrow, much colder with a high of 60 with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
This is Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it, Buckeyes in Happy Valley Saturday at noon. And I think that Buckeye fan wouldn't be completely public about saying, man, I'm so glad this game's at noon and not at night. But in the back of your mind, I'm sure it's there. And we'll ask Ian Fitzsimmons, top of the hour, about the real difference between playing over there at noon and playing there at night and a whiteout and all that. It is not a whiteout, correct? Regardless, right? Do they only do the whiteout?
No, it's a helmet stripe game. So there's like a stripe that's going to go down the center of the stadium.
Okay. All right. So Ohio State's still a 3.5-point favorite. Nothing's moved that, Matty.
And the atmosphere will still be good. It will still be a very big atmosphere whenever, as we all know, Ohio State comes into town for anybody. They're going to put their best foot forward as far as atmosphere and juice in the stadium. Yeah, when it's a night game over there and it's a whiteout, it absolutely hits different. You can just feel it coming through the TV screen when we watch those games over the years. So both teams are going to be laser focused, especially on Ohio State's side of things since they've already dropped one. But for Penn State, too, they're going to be just as hyped for this one, and especially their head coach because of the history that surrounds these type of games for him. And so I can only imagine how sharp their coaching staff have been, how sharp both coaching staffs have been getting ready for this game, because there's obviously a ton on the line. So it should be a banger of a game. I can't wait.
Yeah, Penn State on their side, and listen, they've somewhat cruised through the schedule, but even though they were certainly in a game at Wisconsin, they had to come back. They cruised through the early part because the game at USC, and listen, yesterday we were talking about Drew Aller, and if he plays, will he be able to deliver in a big moment? He does have that this year, Matt. He did deliver against USC. Different beast, but he did complete a couple fourth down passes on that last drive that he had to have. And he looked pretty good. We have no idea whether he's going to play, but he's going to do everything he can to play. I heard James Franklin with the media, and maybe in his own mind, he even has to sell his own fan base that noon does equal night, that it's the same deal. Here's Franklin.
The noon games. There's nothing better than a noon game in Happy Valley against Ohio State. This place will be rocking. I've seen it all over social media. Our fans could not be more excited. Our alumni, our letterman, Jason Kabinda. We were just talking about that. Marcus, we were just talking about nothing better than a noon game in Happy Valley.
I don't know if nothing better. I think night would be better. I think I hear it in his voice. I don't think he's trying to convince himself. I think he knows the opportunity's there, and I don't think he has to technically fake it. But when I heard it for the first time, I felt like he was, in a way, really trying to sell it as much as he can, that we can't afford to have a late cheering crowd kind of deal. And listen, Ohio State fans, they can certainly empathize with the chance of, are you waiting for your team to make you cheer, or are you cheering for them? I think Penn State realizes, I don't know how gettable Ohio State is right now, but they certainly were last week. And if we're going on recent history, Penn State's probably got to say, this is another one of those great chances that we have, and we get them at home.
They definitely probably, I got to conflict with myself there. I think, AR, that they smell some blood in the water. And when it comes to what Ohio State has looked like over the last 2 weeks, especially down there in the trenches, last two games down in the trenches on that offensive line, how could you not smell some blood in the water with the guys that you have? No, there is a question mark about one of their best defensive linemen, and Danny Dennis Sutton and his availability coming into this one. So I know the Drew Aller thing has been a deny. Yeah, Sutton. Did I say it wrong?
I think it's deny.
Deny Sutton.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But both those guys are heavy hitters
it
for the
fit with the narrative.
Absolutely, right?
So he's not denying that or confirming it.
Okay. I know, I got you. But he's a big deal to their defensive line, right? And Drew Aller is the headline as far as whether or not he's going to play. I know James Franklin reiterated yesterday that he's going to be a game-time decision. He's going to play that all the way up to kickoff, and why would you not? That's just all the the competitive stuff that we've seen for years when it comes to football. But if I'm Ohio State's offensive unit right now, how much confidence do you really have going on to the road with the offensive line play that you may have? So Zen's out. I know that's been reported. I know Lathan Ransom will be back on the defensive side of things. So we talked to Bobby. We've heard from Coach Day that this may turn into a Donovan Jackson situation at left tackle. And so now what does that do to your interior of your offensive line? So Coach Allen, Penn State's defensive coordinator, he's going to be drawing up some exotic blitzes and some twists and some different things to probably pressure point the middle of now an offensive line for Ohio State that has had to shuffle some things across the board, which is not what you want in a matchup like this, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know because Penn State's defense, it was ranked sixth in FBS in total yards given up before that Wisconsin game. And you can't be in third and long against them. Yeah. That's just, I take that back. Ohio State certainly has the weapons in the passing game to be in third and long. They can.
But do they have the offensive line to hold up in third and long?
And that's it. They have the weapons, but on a third and long, you do need more time. And you mentioned, Abdul Carter, he is on passing situations, you have to find him. Yeah. He's not going to be in one spot the whole game if they're in third and long. They're going to move him around like a middle linebacker, and he's going to come from different places. Dennis Sutton certainly is the other guy at the end, and Durant is the quick, athletic, powerful dude in the middle.
KD?
Zane. Okay. Zane Durant. Yeah. All three levels, who knows? Are they? We know their strength is up front. Now, what Ohio State, I kind of identified early with this offense with Ohio State about the misdirection. Misdirection is very good against defenses like this. They're athletic, they're fast. Misdirection can hurt them. They can over-pursue. I wouldn't be surprised if Chip Kelly is throwing a lot more of that in like he did earlier in the year on the misdirection and not be too because in a way, you almost have to admit, can you really hold up straight up that long all day?
100%. And Ohio State, they have confidence, I'm sure, in the quick strike ability of their passing attack. And Jeremiah and Emeka, and you got Carnell coming off one of his best games since he became a Buckeye. But we've seen from Jeremiah, we've seen from Emeka that, hey, you can get the ball out fast to those guys, and those guys can pick up some yak in nice situations for you throughout a game. So, yes, you have to have that punch, right? You have to make them respect the run game throughout this game. But because of how special your playmakers are on the outside and because of the uncertainty to your offensive line, we could see some slants and some curls or whatever it may be, right? That can hurt Penn State just based off of the playmaking skills of the wide receivers.
Well, and that puts this game a lot in the hands of Will Howard, and this is why you got him, and this is why you feel like he's a level up from what you had, that he doesn't have to be a stand back there and survey the field. He can get those quick slants. They can get into some better manageable third downs, and like you said, then you get the chances that you can take it to the house or break some tackles and turn some short gains in the passing game into some big games. This game reeks of something in the 24-20. This just feels like that. Feels like a classic game that we won't know the outcome until the fourth quarter. I'd be surprised if we did, but here we are. And Ohio State and Penn State, the opportunities you mentioned, the pressure on Ohio State knowing they have an L, the pressure on Penn State to finally win a big game and protect home field and keep themselves in the upper tier of college football, but and then really try to show the country, are they really worth that 3 that's in front of their name? All right, we come back. NFL picks against the number. It starts tonight, and we'll lay them out next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Gambling too much? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Mary Haven, where we offer in-person, virtual, and group options. We're here for you no matter what, and that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Go to maryhaven.com today.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One thing we keep hearing here in town, Wilson, is that the cost of Pella windows actually pleasantly surprises most people.
Pleasantly surprised?
You get the Pella next level quality and looks, but we also have 5 different lines to fit most budgets.
Our customers are almost always surprised, but it's never pleasant. Is there such thing as like angrily surprised?
Price is a little high.
Oh no, they're a lot high.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff, and one station isn't enough. Find even more Pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com to get started. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Looking for a trusted heating and cooling company? James Laurinaitis here for Custom Air. When I come home from a football game, I know that I'm walking into comfort. That's because Custom Air is on my team. When Custom Air does my semi-annual maintenance checkup, I trust them to spot any issues early on, so it'll save me money down the road. Don't let your HVAC call for a timeout this season. Tackle fall and winter like a pro. Go to customairco.com and schedule your maintenance today. Custom solutions, custom comfort. Custom Air.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people would mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice, NFL picks.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
All right, CB, lay them out.
Yeah, pretty good week for both of you last week, around the 500 mark, but of course, it was not. We had one over 500, one under 500. It was AR that was over at 9-7 last week, so it pushes him to 61-59 on the season. Ice, you went 7-9, so you're 56-54. All right. Thursday night matchup. We've got the Jets as a 2-point home favorite over the Texans.
How are the Jets a favorite? Honestly, I guess you could say they're at home. And Houston's now missing a couple receivers, but they still get after the quarterback. And they still have Mixon. I know that you maybe give the Jets one last fighting chance at home to win this game, but I'm not doing it. I say they get after Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he has a last stand, and this would be it. Because what? They go to 2-7 if they lose? And then it's lights out anyway, but I'm actually going to take Houston. I'll take the 2.
You know what? I don't know how anyone could trust the New York Jets right now. I just don't. I know their defense is fine, but CJ's still the better quarterback in this scenario. And Will Anderson, I think, can be a game wrecker. He's coming off being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Month.
They're third in sacks.
And he's tied for third in sacks, that being Will Anderson. I'm with it. Give me the points. I'm wrong with H-Town.
All right, on to the 1 o'clock schedule on Sunday. The Falcons are a 2.5-point home favorite over the Cowboys.
The Falcons are such a weird team to figure out week in and week out. I have no idea how good they really are. You catch them one week, they look elite. You catch them the next week, they look absolutely mid. Anything on Micah Parsons?
Supposed to be back.
That's a big deal for me. I'm going to take the 2.5 and roll with Dallas and Hotlanta.
You would think that if Dak was going to shine, he would do it against this defense. It's not very good. The Falcons do win close games. They've won them before. This might be another close game. I don't know. I agree with you. It's hard to trust Dallas. It's hard to trust the Atlanta defense. But I'm going to say Atlanta gets up for this one at home and they win by a field goal, so I'll take the Falcons.
All right, next up, the Bills are a 6-point home favorite over the Dolphins.
Tua had some decent moments. It wasn't great, but it was decent. Now he comes back against a Bills defense, though, that I think is really playing well. And they've had the Dolphins number the last 4 times they've played them. I think Josh Allen should have a pretty good day against this team. They're down like 3 pass rushers. They're top 3. They're brutal in sacks. I don't think Cooper and Coleman, are going to have serious trouble, so I'm going to lay the 6.
I like the balance that Buffalo now has offensively after acquiring Coop, because you saw James Cook have a really good game. Now I think they can go into any situation and say it may be Cook, it may be Kincaid, it may be Amari Cooper and Khalil Shakir. So I'm going to lay the 6 and roll Buffalo at the crib.
All right, the Bengals are a 7-point home favorite over the Raiders.
Yeah, this Bengals team, Joey B's talking about his put up or shut up time. This is must win. We know the offense is going to be locked in, but I don't know how anyone trusts the Bengals defense at this point, but let's be real. The Raiders are playing Gardner Minshew at quarterback. That's a problem on the road. I'm laying the 7. I'm rolling with the Bengals.
I'm with you. It's very hard. I've been clinging to Cincinnati. I don't know how. Are they good? Are they okay? Are they, borderline very good? It doesn't seem so. But it is against the Raiders, and it's only a touchdown. I hate keep going back to the faves, but I will ride that kind of last stand with Cincinnati feeling, and I'll lay the touchdown.
All right, the Chargers are a 1.5-point favorite on the road at the Browns.
Herbert's back. But you have Jameis, and they have something going here. The Browns defense, though, as good as they were against Baltimore, you lose JOK. You're likely without Denzel Ward. I don't know if he's going to clear concussion protocol. And so I'm going to actually take the Chargers and lay the 1.5.
So here's the thing. With the Chargers, you have to have efficient quarterback play when you are going up against them, because they just don't get into a whole bunch of shootouts because of their style of play and how much they want to run the ball. Jameis, he looked shaky to me last week, and there's no JOK in this game either for the Browns. Yeah, I'm going to lay the 1.5 and roll with the Chargers.
The Titans are a 3-point home favorite over the Patriots.
It's a nasty game right here, AR. This is the battle of the basement right here in the NFL between the Titans and the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett, is Drake May out of concussion protocol? I haven't seen anything as far as his availability. I don't know if you guys have. Is he going to play in this?
They don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If it's Jacoby Brissett, I think he can keep it close. Yeah, I don't love this, but I'm going to take the 3 and roll with New England.
Well, they are coming off getting their doors blown out by 38 points. You would think there'd be a little pride there. And so even if it is Jacoby Brissett, man, I don't know. Gerard got a lot out of his team when he called him soft. People were ripping him about it. He goes, I know that there's a difference between being soft and playing soft. And he would know.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, well, they won the game. They responded. I'll tell you, I'm gonna lay the. Yeah, I'm gonna lay the 3
I'm switching
as well.
CB. Tennessee's defense is too good. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm gonna lay the 3.
We're taking the 3. I'm sorry.
No,
right.
I'm laying the 3 with Tennessee, unless I'm looking at that wrong.
Correct. Tennessee's the favorite.
Right. My bad.
You.
Okay.
All right.
The 3.
Commanders are a 4-point road favorite over the Giants.
It's your boy.
JD. It is JD, but I'm also a buyer in that. Maybe this Washington defense can actually bow up a little bit. They bowed up against the Bears up until the end. It was a low-scoring game, and Jaden he's got to be playing. He played through it last week, so he'd be playing this week. Divisional matchup. It is on the road. It's not a massive spread, but it is across a key number. The Giants buried themselves with penalties, and even though Daniel Jones had a decent night throwing the ball, I have to ride with Washington here.
Yeah, I'm all over that. I'm laying the 4 as well.
The Saints are a 7-point road favorite over the Panthers.
Yeah, going back to Bryce Young. They just traded away Deontay Johnson. It's just the vibes are bad. Derek Carr, is he back?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm laying the 7. Give me the Saints.
It's a perfect time to come back, right?
Yeah.
They're holding tryouts for their secondary in the parking lot, the Panthers. I'm going to lay the 7 as well.
The Ravens are a 9-point home favorite over the Broncos.
Well, we know one thing.
Our defense stinks.
You're not losing 2 in a row. That I don't feel.
That's what I know is our defense stinks.
I don't feel like that's a huge problem against Denver. It's not that Bo Nix isn't doing better things. Boy, I am all over these favorites. I just feel like your team is going to be really upset they gave it away. They're going to play big, and they'll probably win by double digits. So I'm taking Baltimore.
Bo Nix has been crowned the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month. When you have such a bad defense, which the Ravens had, the door's always open. So I'm going to take the 9. It's too many points. Give me the Broncos.
The 4 o'clock window starts with the Eagles. They're a 7.5-point home favorite over Jacksonville.
Christian Kirk's done for the year. Brian Thomas has been awesome. Mm-hmm. He has been awesome. Malik Neighbors got a lot of love coming out of LSU, but Brian Thomas has been arguably better because Neighbors just missed some time.
And a note on Thomas, it sounds like maybe 2 to 4 weeks with his injury.
Yeah. That's a big. And they just traded Cam Robinson to AR's Vikings. I'm laying the 7.5. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah. Feels like the Jags showed a little heart last week. Everyone's surprised about that, but I think the Eagles have kind of found their groove, so I will lay the big points as well.
The Cardinals are a 1-point home favorite over the Bears.
It's a tough call here. Arizona is they're just not going away completely. Bears have a pretty strong pass rush, but the mobile quarterback should be able to move his way around. Boy, there's something up with this pick. Bears still maybe thinking about the Hail Mary being on the wrong side of it, but I'll tell you what, I'll take Chicago. I'll do the opposite, Costanza.
Arizona first in the NFC West right now. Pretty wild to say out loud, but that's where they are. But I'm rolling with the Bears, too. Give me the point.
All right, the Lions, a 3-point road favorite over Green Bay.
Too much uncertainty right now around Jordan Love. I can't do it. I'm going to lay the 3 and roll with what is the better squad all the way around.
Yeah, they're playing big, and if they do have to go to Willis, although you're hearing that Love and the sore groin are going to realistically play on Sunday. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I assume it'll be all right, but this game is outdoors, so give me the Lions. It's a tough one, divisional game.
The Rams are a 1.5-point favorite on the road at Seattle.
So hard to figure out. Seattle can't run the ball. The Rams have their weapons back. Seattle's got to reprove to me that they are that team, so I'm going to take L.A.
Yeah, the big three's back. Kyron, Puka, Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford's a hell of a quarterback. I'm laying the 1.5.
The Sunday night game, the Vikings are a 5.5-point home favorite over Joe Flacco and the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points and roll with Joe inside in the dome. He'll be slinging it all over the place. Sammy D and Joe Flacco, Sunday Night Football, just how the NFL drew it up prior to the season.
They played some good games, but the Vikings defense has given up at least 30 the last couple of weeks. Flacco can deal with the blitz better than we know Richardson can. All the Colts do is seem to cover and be good against the spread, so I'm going back to what I should have been doing all year, and that's mental hedging the Vikes. I'll take the Colts in the 5.5.
Sunday Night Football, we have the Chiefs an 8.5-point home favorite over Tampa Bay.
The Chiefs are 7-0. They would have covered the last 5 if it weren't for Minshew. 8.5. You know what? It's so weird that Tampa's hanging in these games. I'll ride the favorites. I've been doing it mostly this week, so give me Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with KC as well. Their defense is really good, and I think the lack of weapons will catch up with Tampa in this one.
All right. Those are your NFL picks against the number. When we come back, Buckeye Bulletin, Chip Kelly. How much is he still committed to running the football? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at Germain Honda of Dublin.
Can't make it to the game? Watch the Fan's pre- and post-game shows live on YouTube. Just search 971 The Fan and click subscribe.
The Fan's YouTube channel is sponsored by Coors Light.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text POWER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text POWER to 42424. That's POWER to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Talked a lot about the Buckeyes game plan for this Penn State game early in the show. And they're also coming off, if last week does anything for you, it always just kind of keeps you locked in, or it should. And I'm not here to tell you, I've never been the guy that says, okay, you got to win by 30 or you got to cover the spread and all that. We have a lot of fun with it.
This ain't the BCS era anymore.
Yeah,
Style points don't matter. They don't matter. Well, when you're certain programs,
not supposed
they don't
to matter, but they could, but you're right. They could, in the committee room, as far as domination and controlling a game, it might.
Because everybody's going to have these games, So to a certain degree, style points can't matter. We've seen a lot of the elite programs over the years. We've seen a lot of the big-time programs, even this year, getting the games that we felt like they should dominate. And you're like, wait a minute, this is a four-quarter game? This is how it works, and that's why we love it.
It's the beauty of the playoff. I remember talking before the season, if there is a beauty of the playoff, and this is the first year we'll experience it, but I remember when we had all those guys on before this summer, and I said, what are the chances, what's the percentage you give to the 5 through 12 pool? Will we have natties coming out of that 5 through 12? And I think to a person that we had on the show, most of them were, nope, I'd still ride with the top four. Yeah. It's always going to be top heavy. But all we've seen this year are weird upsets and teams going down to the wire and teams that should have been upset and weren't. So I would not discount that this playoff will not be really wild and wacky. Now,
I think early on
the home field and stuff like that, I know that means a lot. But.
Yeah, 100%. And I think early on in the playoff, in the first round, it might get a little funky. But to those guys' credit that we had on, I mean, the three teams a lot of people did back are three of the four teams in the country right now, right? In Oregon, Georgia, and Ohio State. And I still think a lot of people would roll with those three teams over the likes of the crop of the 5 through 12 crowd. And I honestly don't know. We'll have to ask Ian, like, how many people look at Penn State as a true national championship contender? They got the number 3 next to their name, and they got a 7-0 record.
How good are they?
But how good are they?
And they can
exactly.
And to be very fair, the only reason we're probably not going all in on that question about Ohio State is that we've seen them against the best.
Correct.
And we know what happened.
Yeah.
Now, yes, did they come home and lay a figurative egg in winning closely at Nebraska? Yeah, but a lot of it has to do with this offensive line now. Yep. And not even the best teams may not be able to overcome that fully. However, and I admired this yesterday or the other day, Tuesday with Ryan Day, is that you're not going to admit that you're going to somehow scheme it differently to hide your offensive line. They may have to, at times, think about it. But they weren't thinking about it on Tuesday, and Chip Kelly's talking about running the football.
We can't live with the way we ran the ball last week, and so that's part of what we have to do heading into this game, because you're going to have to win the rushing battle to win games in the Big Ten, so we certainly understand that. Again, like I said earlier, Penn State's defense is different than Nebraska, so things that you would do against Penn State are different than things you would do against Nebraska, but you're right in that we have to establish a run in this game.
Establish the run in the game.
I would love to ask
how much of that is cliche and how much of that is that establishing the run may be just a different way to do it.
Right. And I would love to ask Coach Kelly, at what point in the game do you bail on that play? Is it mid-second quarter? You go in the locker room, and you're not running the ball at the clip you want to. You're still coming out in the third quarter and trying to force your way to running the ball. Like, things have to change on the fly, as he just mentioned, with the defenses that you face week in and week out. So I know that's what they want to do, and I get it. You want that balance, but you don't want to wait too long into a game to say, oh, you know what, we should go to something else. And so that's what I can't wait to see if they're not efficient running the game early.
It's a fine line. I remember last year when Penn State came in here to play Ohio State, I thought Franklin completely abandoned his running game. Yeah. And that's a game that he could have or should have won and didn't. So these coaches, it's very hard to just say, even at halftime, all right, can't do it. Let's just start slinging it around. But they may cut loose on Saturday night or use Will a lot more in the running game. Here is Ryan Day on using the silent counts in Happy Valley.
It's a big challenge, as you know, and going on the road, that's a big part of, going into that environment is handling that. And that's the challenge for those guys. They know that. You could probably hear the loud noise when you were in here just, during practice. And, we try to make it as loud as we possibly can and simulate what it's going to be like. And so, we've had multiple guys make sure that we've done that in preseason camp. We do it in spring. And obviously we're doing it now during this week and leading into the Oregon week, bye week. We did all those things. So, guys have reps at it, but it takes discipline, so we had multiple guys do it, and so we feel confident going to the game that we're going to be able to handle it.
Might be big. It's at noon, so we'll find out if the Penn State fans are ready to do what the Ohio State fans need to do every time teams come in here.
We'll see if they learn from their mistakes out of Eugene with all those false starts. They did not handle the noise well out there.
All right, that is today's Buckeye Bulletin.
The Columbus Men's Clinic, folks, is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus. Did you know that their patients average 3 failures with other places before coming to the Columbus Men's Clinic? If you've been waiting to treat your low T or ED, or maybe you had a bad experience with yet another clinic that opened quickly and closed, it's time to get in there and move forward with your sex life, your career, and gym goals. They specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, go see the team that for 10 years has been number one in Ohio for men's health. Stop thinking about it and get in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400, or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Ian Fitzsimmons up next, ESPN sideline reporter. And we'll ask him, Happy Valley at night versus Happy Valley at noon. How big is the drop-off? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
My furnace just went out.
Ma'am, have no fear. Dormar is here. We can get that furnace fixed fast.
Dormar, you guys are the best.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. It's another big one this Saturday as number 4 Ohio State heads on the road to face number 3 Penn State. Kick for this one is at noon. On his weekly radio show earlier, Ryan Day spoke on why Happy Valley is a tough place to play.
Well, first off, just how loud it gets. It gets really loud, so you got to be able to handle that on offense. And, that's a big deal. When you're dealing with silent, as you know, as an offensive lineman, that's a big part of it. The momentum swings and things like that. But, great environment.
Our coverage here on The Fan gets underway bright and early at 6:30 Saturday morning. The Los Angeles Dodgers are your World Series champions. They win the series in 5 games, beating the Yankees 7-6 last night. Freddie Freeman, your World Series MVP. Thursday night football on The Fan tonight. The New York Jets hosting the Houston Texans. This one sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.9% with a Visa credit card from BMI. Apply today at bmifcu.org/Visa.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, what a weekend coming up of college football, and the man who is always in the epicenter of it is our guy, Ian Fitzsimmons. He's the ESPN sideline reporter, and he's with us now on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Fitzy, how we feeling?
Good, brother. Look, we're normally on Mondays we had to call an audible, a little check with me at the line of scrimmage, and here we are on a Thursday. And that's when the juices get going, man. Normally we're going revisionist. Now we're looking ahead, and so I like the change up here. But before we get the ball, what are your thoughts on Halloween?
I like the movies. I like eating candy, but I'm kind of out of the old gotta be answering the door ever. I'm just kind of out of that mode.
Let me say this, Ian. Based off of some of the parties I've been to, I thoroughly enjoy Halloween, if you know what I'm saying.
He likes to dress up.
So yeah, that's it. Somebody likes to get a little freaky. That's what that is, right there. let's just call it out, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody likes to get into disguise, like you don't know who I am, but let's go. But look, the whole adult dress up thing, I'm out on. I think that's more for like Instagram and Twitter and whatnot, unless you're really going to the right party. But I'm beyond it. And our street, dude, they blocked. We've now lived here on this street for 6 years. They blocked the entire street off, shut it down. And it's a block party, and it can get annoying as hell because it doesn't quit till like 11. I mean, I'm like, man, I want to go to bed. I'm 52.
Mm-hmm. What are they Fitzsimmons giving out to the kids on that street?
Now, that's the other thing, because you got to keep up with the neighbors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't do full candy bars. Unless I have a handful of them. You have to come in and be polite. Thank you, trick or treat. You do all that stuff, and you're polite as hell and raised right. You get a bonus: full-size Snicker, Kit Kat, the large Reese's cup, like the 4-pack. Bam! There you go. You're rewarded for being a hell of a player on game day. You delivered, man. You got the game-winning sack. You scored the game-winning touchdown. You hit the walk-off home run. You get a full-size candy bar. If you don't, here you go, kid. You get the small little single and a couple of blow pops. There you go. Done. Get out of here.
See, I would think that you'd be more judging the uniform, not just the politeness.
That's my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, Kitty doesn't mess around with that part. Like, really? That's all you got?
If you're coming up with, jeans and a little face paint or whatever, you're getting a Tootsie Roll, and then we send you on your way.
You're getting some Laffy Taffy and get the hell off my front porch, right?
All right.
Get out of here.
As long as we're talking about atmospheres and all that stuff, give me your best take on this. Happy Valley at noon versus Happy Valley at night. A massive difference?
Alcohol poisoning versus drunk. There you go. That's the biggest difference, man. I think this is a blessing for Ohio State. This being a noon kick, and I've never done a whiteout game. I've called games at Happy Valley. It's an electric atmosphere. It's right up there with the best in the country. But whiteout, man, talking to Herbie, and I was on with Rick Neuheisel yesterday. He's done games there. It's a whole different level, especially afternoon, or at night. Getting that game at noon, I really do think it is a bit of an advantage for Ohio State. I think Drew Aller's going to go. I think you'd have to hold him back with a toe line to keep the quarterback for Penn State out of this game. Don't know, about the edge rushers, the right tackles, and some of the other injuries that Penn State has, but Aller, you ain't keeping him out of this thing. So I expect him to go. But when I saw Ohio State favored by 3.5 on the opening line in Vegas, I went, oh baby. And I think Ohio State against last week got caught peeking a little bit, but they found a way to get a win. So now, let's go, man. Let's swap some paint. This is the game of the weekend, hands down, bar none. I don't care. You throw any other game up there, it doesn't even come close. The entire football universe is focusing in on Ohio State and Penn State. And here's the best part for both teams. Loser ain't out of it by any stretch, because for Ohio State, you're a one-loss squad, and your one loss is on the road in one of the most hostile environments in college football against the number one team in the country by a point. And having served in that mock committee not once but twice, and this one, and talking to the new director, Rich Clark, who's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, who played at Air Force on the 84 undefeated team, he told me at SEC and reinforced it at Big Ten Media Days over the summer, strength of record and strength of schedule is going to be even a bigger point of emphasis with the 12-team committee. So you lose at number 1 and at number 3, guess what? You're still in this thing. And as Bill Parcells famously said, if you make the playoffs, you got a shot. Just get in.
Yeah, no doubt. Zooming out from the Big Ten and going over to the SEC, one squad, and I wanted to ask you about is Texas A&M, because I don't know if a whole bunch of people had at the start of November Texas A&M being first in the SEC. When you look at the Aggies and where they are right now, if I threw this at you, would you roll with Texas A&M to win the SEC, or would you still look at Georgia or Texas and feel better about one of those squads?
I would still go with Georgia or Texas, and I'm not ruling out Bama yet because they hit a stride offensively against Missouri. And then that's what's been, and I know people look at the defense and whatnot. That's going to start to come together, in my opinion. And I know Brady Cook didn't play for Mizzou, but a shutout's a shutout in college football. I mean, that's I don't care if you get a shutout against Air in this day and age, which is as much as the ball's tossed around. That's impressive. So I'm not ruling out the Crimson Tide yet either. But this is going to shock you, boys. Have you looked at that A&M South Kakalaki line?
No.
A&M is only favored by 2.
Yeah. Well, that South Carolina D, man, I think
those 2 edge rushers, boys.
Yep.
Let me tell you, Vegas is begging you to take the Aggies after that big come-from-behind win against LSU. I mean, and look, they're good. Mike Elko's building something there. I agree with you. But this, watch out, upset alert. I think South Carolina beats Texas A&M on a hangover after the big comeback against LSU.
That's a hell of a prediction, and I'll tell you what, you're not alone probably in feeling it. All right, I do want to take you back to Penn State for a minute. You're dead on right. It is the game of the weekend. Are they really the third best team in the country? Or is this
look,
yeah.
They are until James Franklin and that bunch in the James Franklin era wins a big game. To me, they're not the number 3 team in the country. Talent-wise, are they? Yeah. But when was the last time that they beat Ohio State? When was the last time they beat Michigan? When was the last time they won a truly big game? Once, when they won, going back to Big Ten title, how many years ago? So until they win that game, like even when I do believe they make the playoffs. I think there is minimum 3, probably 4 SEC teams that get in. I think it's minimum 3, maybe 4 teams from the Big Ten that get in. But even if Penn State, and I do believe they will be one of those out of the Big Ten, makes the playoff, until they win a big game, I don't see them surviving and advancing in the college football playoff. And you know what? I don't see them winning on Saturday. Because until they get it done, I'm going against them every single time. I like Ohio State minus the 3.5. I think Ohio State goes in and gets it done. And I hope, at least for a week, that shuts up the vocal minority that's on Ryan Day's ass.
The higher ceiling in the ACC between Miami and Clemson, which team has the higher ceiling?
Man, I closed Clemson beaten. Now, I know they're destroying everybody, right? After the Georgia game, they kind of circled the wagons again, and, here they are in a groove. But and Miami's stolen 2 games. I think we all agree with that, right?
Yep.
A 5-minute review against Virginia Tech. Come on, man. That was a loss. Hokies had won that game. But somebody in the ACC office went, hell no, we're a 1-bid league right now. Reverse that sucker. That goes with the Canes, and then the targeting call at Cal. So, which changed that game. And that was a 1-possession game. But I would say Miami right now, because of the quarterback, and Clemson has lost some big games recently, and they haven't really beaten anybody. But look, another big game this weekend. SMU at 7-1 against undefeated Pitt in the ACC. SMU's a 7.5-point favorite, boys, on the Hilltop. Pitt's going down this week. So there's another unbeaten that is going down. And guess what? First college football ranking comes out on Tuesday, and chaos is still a-coming. We have had something crazy happen every single weekend. It's going to happen again this weekend, starting, in my opinion, with A&M losing to South Carolina.
All right, we got you marked down, Fitzy. Great job. Enjoy the weekend. Best to you and the fam, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, by the way, I also had Central Florida beating unbeaten BYU, so take that for a grain of salt. There you go.
Is Ian Fitzsimmons, ESPN sideline reporter here on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline.
I love Uncle Ian, man. I'm glad we could catch up with him this week. We missed him on Reaction Monday, but we got him in time. And yeah, he's right. Like, this is the headliner of the weekend. And we've seen some crazy moments between these two programs. And this game has a weird way, especially for Ohio State, of a defensive lineman, pass rusher rising up and having a moment or a great game.
Well, listen,
the Joey Bosa moment.
Yeah.
JT's game a couple years ago.
That may have been the greatest just line score game of all time.
He was on one.
Yeah. I looked back. Ian was asking a lot of questions. Didn't want to cut him off about when's the last time. So the last time was that Penn State beat Ohio State, that 24-21 game, and that was back in 2016, a while ago. Listen to who Penn State had weapon-wise. Saquon Barkley,
okay,
Chris Godwin, Deshaun Hamilton, Mike Gesicki.
Just some absolute dudes. Saquon Barkley right now is currently second in the NFL in rushing yards, and Chris Godwin is fifth in the NFL in receiving yards.
Yeah. Oh, and they had Miles Sanders.
Just some problems.
But Trace McSorley was the quarterback.
Little John, he reminded me of Johnny.
Yeah.
Remember his little home run celebration he had?
Trace?
Yeah. Wasn't mad at it.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that? CBD, you remember that?
He was an athlete.
Trace threw up like the fake baseball and act like he was knocking it out of the park. It was pretty cool.
Here's the interesting part about Ohio State is that they had Mike Weber that game, and he got it 21 times.
Okay.
But guess how many times JT Barrett put the ball in the air when Weber's getting the ball 21 times? And by the way, JT carried it 17 himself. So between the two of them, it was 38 carries. JT Barrett put the ball in the air 43 times. And that must have just been quick hitters to Curtis Samuel. The longs might have been maybe. Oh, you know who probably had one big one that game is Noah Brown. Hail Noah.
He's just
from this past weekend.
Big time playmaker. Yeah. That's all he does.
Yeah, McLaurin was in that game. Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
And Dontre Wilson early on fumbled. They had some turnovers in that game, and that was it. So that was the last time that Penn State beat Ohio State was in 2016. All right, my man. We come back with a little pre-snap read. We'll get into our Bet 365. And Joe Burrow, maybe the last sell. Will we buy it? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blocko earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Chargers.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick It One.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football, The Fan.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I don't know what I want to do. I'm just not sure that college is right for me.
Have you considered a career in dental assisting? I love my job as a dental assistant. I have flexible work hours, the money is good, and I get to work in a professional, people-oriented dental office. What I really love about my job is knowing that I give people a healthy smile.
For more information about becoming a dental assistant, contact your high school guidance counselor. Or if you are no longer in school, talk to a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking weather changes as we go into your Halloween. Most of today is dry, but I am a little bit concerned about rain developing. I think rain moves into the Columbus area around 6 to 7 p.m. tonight. We'll have very strong winds today as well. High 78. Tonight, clearing out after 10 o'clock, lows dropping down to the middle 40s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Maddie, a little Bet365 time.
You already know, brother, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Since it's Halloween, I'm going to keep the Halloween spirit going. And I'm going to go and look at a member of the Adams family, that being Devontae Adams, and getting him into the end zone tonight. He does not have a touchdown as a Jet He only has 1 touchdown so far this season between his time in Vegas and the Big Apple. So I'm going Devontae Adams tonight, plus 130 AR to get into the paint for a tutty.
All right, I don't mind that one very much. I was thinking that maybe I would just not bother with touchdowns and try to find Aaron Rodgers maybe another target. I'm going to go with Mr. Conklin over 2.5 receptions tonight. So we get him 3.
Okay.
Trying to locate the juice on that. I could parlay it with 25 yards receiving if I wanted to, just thinking that would be correlated, and I could get a little better juice on that. But I'll go Conklin over 2.5.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Every one of the losses that the Cincinnati Bengals have been considered in the good category outside of the opener against New England. But a 1-point loss at Kansas City, now a 5-point loss. Yes, it was at home to Washington, but the Commanders are certainly contending. The overtime loss to Baltimore, while it's good on the scoreboard from a moral standpoint, it's bad that they gave it away. And then this Philly one, they just looked outmanned in the later parts of that game. So now they're 3-5, and they host the Raiders on Sunday at 1:00. All right, this is it. You know, I'm not gonna cling to it much longer if they go to 3-6, because then they got to go to Baltimore on a short week. They'll be going on the road. So if they were to lose to Vegas and then have to go on a short week to Baltimore to play on a Thursday, then you got to think it's lights out at that point. So I'm not even crushing them for not making big moves. I don't know what moves they can make. You tell me what stud running back is out there that could all of a sudden make them effective again. You know,
that's not their MO anyway. I don't think they'd want to commit to a running back that would require to go to a heavy rush low because of how they operate. Now, what's concerning is, again, today T. Higgins isn't practicing with that quad injury, and so you talk about what you just highlighted, and he may miss this game, and will he be ready for a Thursday night game immediately after that? It's tough, right?
Why would he be? They're a losing team, and he's a guy that got tagged.
What are you trying to say over there?
I'm trying to say that Schefter was right. I'm not saying he's faking.
No, you're
just saying why would he go 100%?
Push himself
if he's not 100%.
Yeah, it's a fair question to ask. I think sometimes we would all love to believe that these guys would put the team first, but that's just not how I think all of these guys are wired.
Well, and I'm not here to tell you that I know anything. I'm just telling you that if he isn't 100%, I give him the benefit of the doubt of saying, hey, it doesn't make sense for me to push myself. Now, maybe if he's on the right side of questionable, then you're right. And then as a professional football player making the money he makes, trying to help his team that really needs him, you could press into that if you wanted to. The defense is where they need help, and I don't know what they can do. They can't get any pressure outside of Trey, and they're certainly on the back end. They're really depleted now because Dak's, he's out for the year. And where's Jordan Battle? He's not been the guy yet that they think he can be. And then you put Joe Burrow in the hot seat of being questioned about what more they can do in the trade deadline.
Arguably the 3 elite teams right now in the AFC, all making moves, Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens. What goes through your mind when you see those teams getting better?
It's not my job.
Do you ever wish that, the organization would give you another weapon or two, or on either side of the ball?
It's not my job.
He didn't really answer the first question. He said, what goes through your mind? And he said, that's not my job. I'd love to hit him with some truth serum to really feel. Yeah. And I think
the
at the end of it,
then would be, for him, would be nothing goes through my mind because I don't waste time on something that's not my job.
Which is probably true. And I think at the end of the day, he's very confident in the guys that he has and should be with T and Jamar, because he knows when those guys are right It's arguably the best three-headed monster between quarterbacks and a wide receiver duo that you'll find in the sport. So I wouldn't expect anything else from him. It's what you talked about, though, and it's can this defense bail out the offense every once in a while? That's what you got to see. And I know that the defensive line had to work through some injuries early on in the season, but outside of Trey, who leads the squad with 7 sacks, the former Buckeye and Sam Hubbard just having an okay year, right? He's got 2 sacks on the year. He does have 33 total tackles, so he's playing fine. But when you have that defense, and especially a shaky secondary week in and week out, you got to be able to have your guys up front take away the ball with forced fumbles or just get off the field on third down, and they allow teams to keep hope alive on third down way too often.
Yeah, no one's saying that they're a bad team. They're not a winning team, and for many reasons, the opponents they're playing and the defense. And Joe's not been, Joey B like we thought he'd be. He's been good. He just hasn't been the complete difference maker that we think he can be. This becomes vital. I fully expect them to win the game, but I've been shocked before. Those are your pre-snap reads for today.
All right, Aaron, let's hand out some goodies right now. Winner's going to receive 2 tickets to see AEW Collision live at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. Tickets go on sale now via Ticketmaster. 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. Earlier in the program, I had some breaking news. Sources are telling me from somewhere that someone and his little helpers are reporting for training camp. Who is that someone? 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. You get it right, and you'll get 2 tickets to see AEW.
All right, we come back.
I think you gave it away.
Yeah. Why don't you just tell them what the answer is?
You know what? I'm the good cop on the show. You like to make people earn it. Sometimes I just give it away.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now? There you go. Kellen Winslow, 6'5", 250, and an absolute force in the NFL. He's back in Canton going through the residency. And I'll tell you what, when he played, he was a one-man wrecking crew. He'll join us next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Death, taxes, and beating Michigan every damn year. This is your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We all know Central Ohio's growing fast. It's making traffic worse and life more expensive. That's why voting yes on Issue 47 is so important. Issue 47 will help folks get to work faster and cheaper by creating COTA Rapid Bus Service. That means more routes, better hours, and more reliable service. That will expand access to transportation for everyone in our community, from the elderly to the disabled, to veterans and students. And Issue 47 will make our neighborhoods safer and more walkable by building 500 miles of sidewalks, trails, and bikeways. When we pass Issue 47, we'll get $1 billion in matching funds from the federal government to pay for it. We're already sending our tax dollars to D.C. Let's bring some of that money home to help our community. Issue 47 means safer neighborhoods and a better quality of life for our families. It's an easy call. Vote yes on Issue 47. Paid for by moving Central Ohio forward.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Jackets are back at Nationwide for a battle with the Jets. Live fan coverage starts Friday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Your home for Blue Jackets hockey, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
James Laurinaitis for Custom Air. Custom Air is devoted to quality, customer service, and trust. They are always there when you need them, and they deliver on what they promise. That's how they do things. It's the Custom Air way. Custom Air, custom solutions, custom comfort. CustomAirColumbus.com.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
Script Ohio necklaces, Blocko earrings, Ohio State bangles, and more. You'll find an exclusive collection of luxury Buckeye jewelry you'll love at the Diamond Cellar, starting at $99. Show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
QC Kinetics not only has the latest non-invasive treatments for joint pain relief, but they also have one of the most respected names in sports medicine, serving as their medical director. That's Dr. Ray Tesner.
As the founder of Sports Medicine Grant and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon, it's exciting to be involved with the latest advances in regenerative medicine and QC Kinetics.
Well, QC Kinetics is making a huge difference in the quality of my life and others as well.
As folks already know, Bobby Carpenter and Sat Sullinger are sports legends in Columbus. QC Kinetics has already made a big difference in their lives, and also for Bobby's father, Rob Carpenter, a 10-year NFL veteran.
And the QC Kinetics team are seasoned medical professionals.
One of the cool things about being the medical director of QC Kinetics is the privilege I have of working with our staff, who have 15 years of experience in regenerative medicine.
You could be next. Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus and call QC Kinetics today for your complete complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
All right, it's a Gold Jacket Thursday, and what a privilege this is. Growing up as a kid, and this guy was the best of all time to me. You go back to 1979, and the San Diego Chargers pulled off a draft day trade with none other than the Cleveland Browns. They moved up 7 spots in the first round to get the rights to the All-American tight end out of the University of Missouri. 13th overall pick, Kellen Winslow, who became one of the best tight ends in the history of the game and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I say it this way. He could have been drafted by the Bengals. He should have been drafted by the Browns, but he takes the long way to Ohio through Canton, and that is the best way to go. And this weekend, he's back in football heaven. Kellen Winslow, it's an honor. How does it feel to be back?
Thank you. That's a very accurate introduction and kind of emotional for me. It's quite the ride. It feels good to be back home. We consider this home. We're treated like kings here, and it's just good to be back.
Let me ask you this. At Missouri, I think you actually beat Woody Hayes and Ohio State down here at the Horseshoe. Am I correct? And what do you remember from that game? Did you?
I don't remember much about it. 22-21. We scored, we were 2 points on the last touchdown that Pete Wood scored and went for the 2-point conversion. Because the theory was when you're on the road, you go for the win. You don't go for the tie. That was my sophomore year, and I think I had 4 or 5 catches in that ball game, very small yardage. But it was quite the day to be in front of, to beat Ohio State at the Horseshoe. That same year, we beat USC out in the Coliseum. So it was a good year.
Really good stuff there. Off the top, Anthony laid out just what you meant to the tight end landscape after you got done playing. And one of the best coaches of all time, Bill Belichick, had some nice things to say about you. And I want to read the quote to you. And it says, pass catching tight ends who get paid the most money are all direct descendants of Kellen Winslow. When you hear a guy like Bill Belichick say that about you and what the impact you made at that position for years and years and years, what are your thoughts on that quote?
It's an honor, and I'm humbled to hear a coach like Coach Belichick say that. I have to defer to Don Coryell, because if not for Don Coryell, none of that takes place. He was the one with the vision of the tight end controlling the center of the field and throwing the ball. Our offense, for example, think about basketball. When you run your offense in basketball, it's either triangle offense. Sometimes it goes through the center and they kick it back out. Our offense went through the tight end, and I happen to be that tight end.
I'll take you back even further, Kellen, because I can't believe that it wasn't really football from the start for you, was it? I had heard that it was your own high school back in East St. Louis, Illinois, that convinced you to play football. And I don't think it even was till your junior year or after that?
My high school coach, who was my gym teacher, Coach Perry, and the other gym teacher, Coach Lewis, who was the assistant football coach, convinced me after my junior year to come out for football my senior year. I was working at United Parcel Service. Don't do the math. I wasn't old enough. I know that now. And I had a job there, and I thought I was going to go to junior college and then to a 4-year school to get my college degree. But they convinced me to come out to play football when they said, we see no reason why you shouldn't be in some man's college on a scholarship after a year with us. They were salesmen, and they sold me.
Kellen, your resume is obviously incredible, and I love asking guys that have accomplished so much, the one thing or maybe one or two things that they're most proud of. Is there a moment, a game, a record that you hold that really is stuck with you that you're really proud of yourself for accomplishing?
That's a tough question, not because there are so many things to choose from. It just is tough to say one thing was more important than the other. I know the things that I'm the proudest of are my undergraduate degree from the University of Missouri, my law degree from the University of San Diego, and my children. Everything else on the field, although great, being in the hall is great, but it pales in comparison.
He is the one and only Kellen Winslow, number 80, San Diego Chargers, the Lightning Bolts on the shoulder pads, 9 seasons, 109 games. And I'm old enough to remember the epic in Miami. Maddie asked you about what, maybe one game, and I almost answered it for you, Kellen. I almost jumped in and said, I got it. I know the answer. And so that divisional playoff game.
You have to consider that one, yeah.
For the people that aren't old enough, you guys jump out, I think, 24-0, and then Miami comes all the way back. Everyone from my era can remember what you did in that game. I think it was 13 grabs, but it was so much more than stats. It was the blocked field goal, and then obviously your teammates helping you off the field at the end in that humidity. And I can remember, and we can talk about that game for a second, because I didn't know how you were going to recover, and not only recover, you couldn't ask for two bigger extremes. Take me back to that night in Miami in 1982. And what that game means to you now, and then the recovery and trying to go from the humidity to the freezer.
Not to be too philosophical, but I learned a lot about myself that night in Miami. I learned that I was capable of going beyond what I thought I was able to do. I think I rose to the occasion because of the challenge that Dan Fouts issued during that game. And I'm not sure Dan will remember this or not, but I was out during one of the many injuries that I had or needed a moment to catch my breath. And I'm down on the bench, and the trainers are working on my shoulder, and Dan comes over to me and says, you got to get back out there. We need you. And I accepted that challenge. And it's always nice to hear that you're needed, even though you know it, but it's always nice to hear. And you don't want to let your teammates down no matter what the situation is. You really don't. Our locker room was so quiet after the game. because everybody was exhausted, you would have thought we lost.
Well, Mike Ditka said that you portrayed in Miami what it takes to be great, and that the difference between great and good is a matter of heart. And I think anybody who watched that game, me included, realized that you were willing to give, they have the cliche, leave it all on the field, and you did that night. I don't know how you guys went from that to Cincinnati. I know you lost the game in Cincinnati. Can you describe what that was like playing in maybe the coldest game in the history of the NFL?
It was inhumane. The game never should have been played. 59 degrees below zero wind chill factor. The field was a frozen piece of concrete. It should not have been played. The only reason it was played was because there was nowhere to put the commercials that television has sold.
Wow.
In my opinion, that was the only reason we played that game. We gave it the best we had during that day. We were a physically beat-up team. We had traveled to Miami the week before, went back to San Diego, got some practice in, then flew to Cincinnati to be faced with those obstacles. Today, you may be able to play that game because the equipment is a lot different than it was back in that day. Our choice of warm weather gear was pantyhose or long johns. The gloves that people wore were typical baseball gloves or the big, heavy scuba diving gloves. Technology today would probably make that game a bearable game to play without long-term consequences to players' health. I know some of my teammates still suffer from frostbite to this day. I know I have a little nerve damage in my foot from the frostbite I suffered in my big toe, my right big toe. But today will be a different thing.
I remember it vividly. I remember your career vividly. I want you to know what an impact it had on people of a certain age. I know you already know that, but it's such a thrill and a privilege to get to talk to you. Fans can meet and greet with you at the Hall. I know tomorrow you'll be 11:30 to noon, the Hall of Famer at the Hall. I like to say you can't miss him. He'll be the one in the gold jacket. And then on Saturday, 11 to 11:30, he'll be in the Super Bowl Theater. You can be there at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. And I hope that when you're passing out candy, Halloween time, Halloween weekend at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they don't think you just dressed up as a Hall of Famer. They know you're the real guy.
I hadn't thought about that. They may think that I'm just in a costume.
We'll tell them different, my man. It's so good to hear your voice. It's so good to hear your voice. I'm glad you're well. You deserve this run back through the residency like they all do. Just enjoy it. Soak it in and have a great weekend. Thanks, Kellen.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it. Kellen Winslow, the great tight end of the San Diego Chargers and the 13th overall pick back in 1979 out of the University of Missouri. When we come back, we will tell the truth. Do it with us, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Ben Sattler, Assistant Vice President, Commercial Lending, on what makes First Bank of Central Ohio successful.
What we do as a community bank is really, listening to, that company, finding the solutions that best need their business and is not just a universal product that you could get anywhere else.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at Germain Honda of Dublin.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Trust and Will knows that you're likely celebrating a loved one's birthday this month because fall is the most popular birthday season in America. And Trust and Will celebrates by protecting what matters most. Trust and Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, designed by attorneys but customized by you. Visit trustandwill.com with offer code Columbus for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Kansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Our last week, if you had allowed me to change an NFL pick, which, by the way, I think it's kind of insane that we commit at 2:45 on Thursday to every pick of the weekend, but this is what we've done to ourselves.
If it was up to you, you'd wait until 12:55 before
maybe
kickoff
59.
on Sunday.
I did with Jameis. But I said that to say this. If you would have given me a chance to change any pick last week, I was really close to calling you and saying, would you grant me a change to the Dallas Cowboys? I felt getting 4 at San Francisco, I was a little worried. I didn't, obviously, and it worked out just fine. Yeah. During the break, I see that Lamar Jackson has missed yet another practice.
Well, no, start with what he said to me, what CB said to me.
Oh, I told him that he missed another practice, and then he just said into the studio during the commercial, must be a tough tummy ache he's got.
What is wrong with this man? CB, I hope you stub your toe in the worst way at some point today. And that's just what I want to say politely over the air.
I'm sorry. I mean, the last example I can recall in my head of this being a big issue was obviously that game in Cleveland a couple years ago. So,
well, no, this is a back and a knee issue.
No, but these are actually real injuries. It sounds like.
I don't know what that's about.
All right, so doesn't Vegas know this? I mean, it's
everything.
Still at 9. Like, would it be at 9 if who's Joshua Jackson Johnson? Who's playing for you guys?
Careful.
No. Who's?
Listen, Josh.
I didn't do anything.
I know.
All right.
So I say careful.
All right.
You want to roll with me on this and take the 9. I already did it.
Tell me who your backup is.
I told you it's Josh Johnson.
Okay. Would it be 9? Would Baltimore be favored by 9? Tell the truth. If they knew right today that Josh Johnson's playing.
No.
So then why would this still be up on the board? They must know that Lamar's playing, right? How could they expose?
Especially if he comes back to practice tomorrow, that's really the big mark.
Yeah, how could they expose themselves like this, Matty?
Okay. Hey, you know what?
You're going to expose yourself on a Halloween party. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to leave it because if I didn't change last week and it worked out.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do that. The other thing I want to tell you guys is
you
this.
want to change another line. What other games are
No,
there?
I
know there's more than one. I know there's more than one.
Probably. No, I think I'm okay. Right. I actually, my lean was maybe back to the Browns, but with the two defensive.
JOK's out.
With Denzel, I just think I'm going to.
Tell the truth. Will we hear about a game he wants to change probably tomorrow or Saturday?
Oh, there's no question. There's no question.
Like talking to you guys. How about this? There was Bill Belichick's 23 or 24-year-old girlfriend dressed up as Bill for Halloween, for a costume this year. She tweeted out a picture, but it was him in his iconic kind of the Giants cut-off shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
That's not even the fun part of the story. Ryan Fitzpatrick responded to the pictures and typed this. For all you 48-year-old hopeless romantics out there, just think, your future person may not even be born yet.
Okay, that is tough.
Wow.
Dang.
Does Fitz Magic have some real issues with Belichick?
Well, there is an AFC East rivalry there. It's a Jet getting after a Pat.
Here's the other thing.
Dang.
This isn't the first time.
And a Buffalo Bill.
Thank you, CS.
This isn't the first of Belichick's partners who have kind of represented him. Linda Holiday, who split up with Belichick last September after dating him for 16 years, wore a costume as well. Her character was one played by Uma Thurman in the movie Kill Bill.
Okay.
I mean, this is...
Listen.
He's got no cares. He's just out here living it.
Bill and Leonardo DiCaprio, they're in a certain lane, you know? And I'm gonna leave it at that. They feel good in that lane. I want everybody in life to feel good in their own lane. And Bill and Leo are doing their own thing.
I just realized Fitzpatrick was also with the Dolphins, so he had all three of the divisional opponents against Bill.
He really did. So yeah, there's probably some real smoke there between Bill and Fitzmagic. That tweet's crazy though.
The other story,
what else you got? You're rolling.
Is kind of fun.
Story time with Anthony Rothman.
Jalen Hurts is contractually banned from playing golf.
Okay.
Now, I would give up golf for $250 million.
I give up a lot of
things.
things.
Might even give it up for... What's my price?
$500K? If I had 500...
Would you allow me to still chip and putt?
No.
I can't just go out there and like a chipping course.
Never again in life. You're
Can't
done.
swing a golf club.
You're done.
No putting, no chipping.
But the only thing that you can do is go to golf tournaments and watch. And eat milkshakes at Jack's place.
Or drink Anthony. He likes to watch.
$500K. Cold hard cash right now.
$500K to give it up. I know. Well, I would be going out on a high note.
Hole in one's
We got
done.
the ace.
You're done. You do it. $500K.
There are a couple courses that I still want to say that I played. Let that carry over. I don't think I would sell out for that.
Buy the Tiger Woods video game. You can play them all on that.
$5 million, I'd hand it over in a heartbeat.
I respect that.
I just don't think 500 could carry me to the finish line.
$1 million.
I don't know if that could carry me to the finish line.
I'm not gonna dunk on you too much because you know when you throw these at me, my prices are always through the roof.
Gave me $5 million right now, I'd never swing another golf club. That's my
CB,
price.
your Tell the Truth segment just got bodied by Story Time with Anthony Rothman.
Well, and you were okay with that because of the tummy ache comment.
You know what? I hope you stub your toe, CB. All right, here we go.
The truth shall set you free.
If you miss Gold Jacket Thursday with Kellen Winslow, if you miss anything from our show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, Adam Rittenberg joins at 3:34, and I've been told the Queen makes a Halloween appearance, so don't miss that.
All right, enjoy, dress up for adults and kids, be safe, and we'll talk to you on a Football Friday. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Penn State hasn't defeated Ohio State outright since 2016. 7 straight wins for the Buckeyes dating back to 2012. Ohio State is 11-1 straight up versus Penn State, including 18-4 since 2002. As a home underdog, Penn State has lost 6 straight. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night, and you can't stand your CPAP machine. The good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. Yeah, Marysville. If you're snoring and waking up all of Marysville or wherever you live and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also check him out online, sleepbettercolumbus.com, and now sleepbettermarysville.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief. as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gahanna, or call 380-208-4544.